Thanks for joining in. In our last video, we discussed how to add tools to ADK agents, and we saw how to add function tools, inbuilt tools, and then agent tools. So in this video, today we will discuss about MCP and how to add MCP as tools to our ADK. So before I go into the code, I would like to spend a couple of minutes on explaining MCP again. We saw this slide before in one of the previous videos in this series, and we saw how ADK through MCP connects to APIs and tools, right? And this is true for other agentic framework as well, like LangChain, Crew AI, Strands Agent from AWS, or AutoGen from Microsoft. They all connect, they can connect to tools and APIs through MCP. So here is another illustration on A2A, ADK, and MCP, and let me explain you how MCP interacts with agents. Here we have one agent A built using Google ADK, and then we have B, agent C, and agent D. Agent B, suppose it is built with another framework, LangChain, LangGraph, or Crew AI, and say agent C is built with AWS Trends Agent, and agent D is built with Microsoft AutoGen. Now, if there is A2A, agent-to-agent protocol here, then all this can interact with each other. Now, let's focus on the MCP part. Suppose there are these MCP servers, MCP1, server 1, server 2, 3, 4, and 5. And MCP server 1 is catering to certain tools like Slack and Google Drive. MCP server 2 is catering to the database servers. Similarly, 3 is to some other tools, and 4 is to again database, and 5 is some other tools. Now, if there are MCP servers like that, then this agent can very easily interact with all these servers and thereby get access to all the tools which are required to do any operations on all these tools and databases. So here is the official documentation on Model Context Protocol. And as you can see here, if there are servers, MCP servers on file system, database, entry, etc., MCP client, which is basically our ADK agent, can interact with MCP servers and thereby get access to all the tools. Now, on the specification, I would like to highlight this transport mechanism. MCP supports primarily two mechanisms, standard I/O and streamable HTTP. Previously, it was called SSE, server-side event. So we have created another agent here or folder here, and I have used the name agent with tools and MCP. So in the previous demo, we saw how to add function tools, agent tools, and inbuilt tools. So for adding MCP, so this is the extra line that you see here where we are importing MCP toolset and standard IO server parameters. Now this portion is we already explained, we discussed that in our last video. So this is a function tool that we are using in the agent, datetime agent. And then second one is Google search, which is an inbuilt tool which we used in the second agent with the name search agent. And this portion is now new for MCP, right? So what I have done here is, as I said, file system and SQL line from Anthropic MCP documentation reference servers. I have used this. So here you basically use the MCP toolset, which we imported on the top. And then we are using npx command to run it. And we are using this server. And we have given a path because the file system. So I have given access to this particular folder, which is my working folder, which you see here. I have created a working folder. So I have given access to only to that working folder. So whatever tools from the server we get, that can only operate only on this particular folder. Okay. Similarly, SQLite, here we are using UVX, and I have defined a path, DB path, and I have created give a name for that SQLite database. So I'm calling employees.db. So this is the file system. This is the SQLite database, and how you invoke that is, so this is the main agent, our root agent. Root agent is agent with tools and MCP, which is this server. So I'm using again Gemini 2.5 class, and then adding this. So here, this two you already saw. We had this agent tool for search agent and the date time agent, and now we also have two more tools. These are the MCP tools. One is for the file system, one is for the SQLite. So let's run it and see. So to run it, we need to use ADK web, and once you do that, the web server would be started in port 8000. Here at localhost 8000, we would see this UI, and here you would see all the agents running out here. So we have three agents now. So this is the agent that we want to test now, agent 3 with tools and MCP. So if you ask what can you do, so it has a file system operations, it can do database operations, it can do web search because it has the search agent, and it uses the inbuilt tool Google search. Date time, which is the function that we have defined. So this is the function tool, and we have an agent for that, agent date time. Now let's use the file system. Okay, so if I ask which file, or list the files that you have in your working directory. So it is calling the tool list directory, and it is finding out the allowed directories, and then from that I have only one file. So if I show you in my so here the working folder, I have only one file, right? This is the file I have, and I have written something like that. This is a test file. This ADK agent has access to this file. The directory is working directory. ADK agent has access only to this directory, right? So this is what it has figured out, that this is the file. And if I ask it to show me the content of the file, please specify which file. So I would say file1.md. So it is now calling the read text file, and it has got the content, right? This content is this. So it's basically reading the file. So you have seen two tools, that it could list the files that you have in the directory, and now also it is reading the content of the file. Now you can also create file in this. You can say create a new file with the name file2.md, and write the sentence hello all in that file. So now it should, yes, it's calling the tool, write file, and then it has successfully created that. So if I say list the files that you have, I should see two files now, file 1 and file 2. Yeah, I'm seeing file 1 and file 2. Show me the content of the file, file2.md, It's reading the file and it is saying it has hello all. And if I see it also in my working folder, now I have a new file and this is hello all, right? So it is, we saw it is reading, listing, and then writing to the file. And also if you say rename the file to file 2.md to say file new.md. Let me see. So it is doing move file because this is the Unix command and successfully it has done that. Now if I say list the files that you have, so it is listing file and file new.md. And if I go in the VS Code also, I'm seeing the same thing. The file MD had the original file. This one we have renamed that to file new. So these are the typical file operations that you can do using this default reference server provided by Anthropic's model context protocol. So you can read file, write file, rename file, update the content, and all the file operations, right? So now let me show you the other MCP server, which was the database part, right? So this is SQLite. So I'd say list the tables that you have in the SQLite DB. Now it is listing the tables. It is saying that in the SQLite database, it has employees and departments. If I say show me the schema of the two tables, so it is showing that employee table has employee number, which is an integer, then employee name, employee ID, role and locations, and department ID has department name, and number of employees. Show me the records from table departments. So it is listing the table. Show me the records in MD format for easy reading. So it is showing in a better format. So you have in department like engineering, pre-sales, sales, marketing, finance, and HR, and the employee strength, right? Add add a new department with ID 7, name library, and say number of employee 5. So it's running the right query. And now if I say show me all records from department, then I see the new one which we have added, library 7, right? Delete the record for library. Writing a query and it deleted. And you can also do insert, create new tables, drop tables, everything out here. So the beauty of this, by writing simple English, we are doing SQL operations. So people don't need to, even if somebody doesn't know SQL, now people can interact with these SQL databases only through English. So I'm stopping this video here. In the next video, we would see some more examples on MCP. So thanks for your time. See you in the next video.